Hello friends. There was a young man who had a really tough childhood. His dad left his mom when he was just a baby, and because of that, they had a very tough financial situation. The mom had to work multiple jobs to put food on the table, so she didn't have enough time to take care of the boy. Because of that, he grew up neglected and he had anger issues. He would often get into fights at school and in the neighborhood. One time he even stabbed someone, so his mom decided to send him to a boarding school far away from home, so that he could learn how to control his anger. At first it was very difficult for him to adapt to the new environment. He missed his mom, he missed his friends, and most importantly, he was not used to saying no. In his previous school, there were a lot of bullies and he had learned to just go along with them, but this new school was completely different. There were no bullies, but there were a lot of rules. And if you broke any of the rules, you had to write out 100 apologies. That was the rule. On his first day at school, he was already in trouble 3 times. He got into a fight with a boy who was trying to take his lunch money. He ran out of class because he was bored, and he broke a vase in the music room. For all of these things, he had to write out 100 apologies. But after he finished writing the apologies, something strange started to happen. He felt lighter. He felt like he had unloaded a heavy backpack that he had been carrying for a long time. It was the first time that he had said no to those bullies and stood up for himself. The next day at school, he said no to a teacher who was asking him to do extra push-ups. And guess what happened? He got suspended from school. Finally, he was sent home with a long list of things that he had to improve. His mom was furious, but he didn't care. Something inside of him had changed. He was no longer the same boy who would just go along with everything. He had found his voice. From that day on, he started to stand up for himself. He said no to the bullies at school. He said no to teachers who were being unfair. And he even started speaking out against the bad things that his mom was doing. One time his mom came home late and started yelling at him for no reason. He told her that he didn't like the way that she was treating him, and guess what happened? She slapped him, but instead of running away or apologizing, he stood his ground and told her that he was going to call the police. That's when she realized that he was not the little boy that she had sent away. He had become a man. And guess what? All of those things that his mom had done to him, all of those things that he had endured for so long, suddenly seemed much smaller. He realized that he was stronger than all of those problems, and that he didn't need to be afraid of them. He also realized that he didn't need to be afraid of saying no. In fact, sometimes it was good to say no, because it gave him the opportunity to make better choices. Saying no is not easy, especially when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you're always being told what to do by your parents, your teachers, your friends. You don't have much of a chance to make your own decisions. But when you start saying no, when you start standing up for yourself, that's when you start to feel like a real person. Of course, it's not always easy to say no. Sometimes you have to be willing to suffer the consequences. But the truth is, that's what makes it so powerful. When you say no, you're taking control of your life back. You're making your own decisions, and you're being honest with yourself and with others. If you want to be happy, if you want to live a life that you're proud of, then you have to learn how to say no. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Now I want to ask you a question. Have you ever said no to something that you knew was wrong? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.